Greetings. R. Frederick Riddle here with another issue of becoming a published author is fun. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, just check out episode 8. This is episode 2538. And what we're going to do, take a real quick dip into this. My last one, I talked about steps to get published. So I think it's important for you to understand about marketing. And there are different areas where you can get information about them. Now, I'm going to talk mostly about what I offer as far as marketing. But you can take that and say, well, I'm not interested in you. I'm going to go look elsewhere. But you can take some of the things which I talk about and see if that's what they offer. And so the information I'm giving you can use anywhere. I'm using my own business as a example of what can be offered by anybody, or if you are going to you're a do-it-yourselfer, then these are steps that you need to take. Okay, so first of all, what you have to do is you got to learn how to market, and so that does you're not born. Most people are not born with that idea. I know I wasn't. I had to learn. And to be honest with you, I'm still learning and probably will spend the rest of my life learning. There's always something new to learn about marketing, new tools that come on now. The latest, of course, is AI. Everybody knows about that, but you don't know everything about it because it's still in its infancy. And that's got something that's going to develop, but it's already developed at a tremendous speed. From the time I first became aware of it, on a scale for writers, for authors, was only, I believe, towards the end of 2023, maybe the beginning of 24. So it's a little bit over a year, around close to 2 years now, in which it's been around. Now, it's been around longer than that AI has. I remember reading about robots, and they were developing AI for robots, and it was always about robots. But it's been in recent years, it's still about robots, but now they're getting into other aspects of life. And some of it is good, and some of it is scary, scary bad. And so I always warn you about AI. AI is not a person. It has no moral base. It doesn't know the difference between good and bad. It might be able to talk about it, but it doesn't know it. So if you give it a job to do and it doesn't, and he finds it, or I shouldn't say he or she, if it finds it, that AI doesn't care if it's owned by somebody else. It's got information AI wants. They take it. It takes it and gives it to you as original content. And so you can get in big trouble that way. And so there are signs to watch and things of this nature, but you can still get caught. It's just it's subtle. You got to be very, very careful. I always say verify, check and verify, check and verify. If you're going to make some kind of a statement that's based on something you got from the AI, then you better check and verify. And the other thing is this: other companies are using AI to do their marketing, their teaching, and things of this nature. So you got to be careful even about them, because AI may have dreamed up something and given you a reference or something that's non-existent. You should check that reference out. If it's non-existent, you'll find out. So it's AI is just one tool that I talk about in my course, and it's one that's going to be more and more important as time goes by. It's already important. So how do you learn? Well, one is what you're doing right now, tips. BPAF, that's becoming a published author is fun. Just in case you didn't know what that meant. So that's what this whole podcast is about, is to explain things to you, make you aware. And you can always ask questions. And if I don't know the answer, I'll look it up. And if I think that question merits maybe a episode here, or maybe even being put in my course, then I will do so. And so don't be afraid to ask questions. You're not going to be stupid. I read an article not too long ago where somebody said, when they say that no, there's no such thing as a stupid question, they lied. No, they didn't. Maybe the people who, if I say I'm talking to the person who wrote that, maybe in your experience, you never found anybody who did that. Or maybe you asked questions and people treated you as being stupid, or you looked at it as being stupid. Not the same thing. The whole point of that motto, or whatever you want to call it, cliche, is that when you ask questions, you get answers, or should get an answer. And that will clear up not only your confusion, but for every person out there, there's at least one, maybe more, out there who has that same question but didn't ask it, maybe afraid to ask it. So you're doing them a service as well. And if you're asking me a question, I'm not going to tell you you're stupid. I might be scratching my head and say, that's a good question. I better check that out. It can happen. So the tips that I give you here are tips meant for you. They're free. I don't charge a cent for them, and you can use them. Another one is my course, Basic Authors Training. Now, there are other courses out there, and they may be good. I'm not talking about them, and I'm not even comparing to them. I'm only using my course as an example. In my course, you can teach yourself. It's a course in which has lessons. They're in an order, which I think they should be studied in, but you might not agree. You might say, oh, no, I want to learn about that. Well, you can do it and click on that and go with that to that particular lesson. They don't have to be in that particular order. And it's a 2-tier system, so that means I teach you and I coach you. So the teaching is in the lesson itself. There's some coaching there too, but the coaching comes with Zoom meetings. And so again, they're not in any particular order. It's whatever you need. And they're basically a 15-minute session, but it can go over. And what I suggest is you write the questions down and email them to me, and then I will have them, and I'll be ready. So when the appointment comes, we don't waste time trying to figure out which the question is. I have the question in front of me, and I have the research that I've already done to get you your answer. So there's 2 things that I do. Well, this last one here that I'm talking about is do. Now, what do I mean by do? I'm talking about you. You do. You can get all the information you want to get about marketing. And if you don't put shoe leather to it, no, not going to happen. I'm going to give you an example of a typical day for me. I get up in the morning, like you do. I get up and I have a breakfast. I do my devotions, like you do. So the first 3 things are probably pretty much like you do. Time that takes and everything, that'll differ. But those are 3 events that take place. Well, about sometimes as early as 9:30, but usually around, I consider my day starting at 10 o'clock. And from that point on, like I said, I could start earlier. I do videos. Now, nowadays on Mondays, what I do is I spend most of the day doing videos. And I might also do videos on Tuesday and Wednesday. But by that time, I have them all done. And I try to keep them current, try to keep them fresh, and things of this nature. But Mondays is focused on my studio, which is right here, and focused on delivering some kind of good content to you, either in this podcast or my other one, which is called Christian News and Views. And then I also use posts. I post on Facebook. I post on Instagram. I go on YouTube and do stuff. And so I've got stuff going out all the time. Content, they call it. There's content. And for instance, right now, this particular week, I am doing a marketing for one of my clients. And that involves a lot of posting. I did an interview with him. did all sorts of things that are out there now. And I have other things coming up that I'm going to do for next week. This is just for the pre-launch. I want to, you need to learn these words, so I'm going to put them down. There's the pre-launch. We'll put a little dash there. Then there's the launch itself. And then there's the post launch. Now, here's this. Here's your marker. This is the date. In this case, it's 16. It's the 16th for his book. I started this actually not last week. I believe I started it the week before. So this is like 3 weeks. 3 weeks before. I've heard of people doing marketing 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and further out. In fact, I read one person who suggested, and it's something to think about, is when you start writing your book, start posting. Share on Facebook, for instance. Share what you're doing, your typical work on your book. I'm thinking about doing that on my books. I'm still writing. I'm an author. And so I'm still doing that. And I'm thinking, I could do that. And then that builds up interest. I could also, another thing is you invite people to maybe you present a situation there and ask questions to see if they'll participate and answer your questions, help you out with your book. It's an interesting idea. And but anyhow, the pre-launch, you're creating buzz. You're creating you're getting the word out to people about your book. In this case, it's Simple Thoughts from a Simple Man, and that's his book. And so I'm talking about that, and that's the dominant theme. But I also do stuff about ministry publishing. I don't know if I did anything about BAT this week or not. I've been focused on ministry publishing. Then on top of that, I do on him and his wife. I do, and that's in relationship to his book, though. And I do stuff on books that I've written. So there's all sorts of things that I post about. And part of that marketing might be letting people know who you are by just letting them see you do different things, personalize it. Might get into that in a future podcast. When the 16th comes, it goes to, normally it would go to a retail price. On Amazon, the ebook is ready to go, and it's at a discounted price because it's in the pre-order, and so they pay now and get the book later. But on the 16th, the price goes to retail. In my bookstore, it goes to retail, but it's a discount store, so the books are discounted, and so there will be it's be on sale. That's sort of a landmark because right now, then you immediately go into your post launch, and you want to continue to market your book, and that's something you need to understand if you are going to be a self-doer, do-it-yourselfer. Then you've got to be willing to invest time. That's the key word in this whole thing. Let me do this here. Time and energy, really. The thing is that you're investing yourself is what you're doing. But if it's going to result in book sales, then it's probably something that you might want to truly consider to do. But the whole thing takes time, effort, energy, imagination, and so forth. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're going through a course or the ministry publishing, which is not a course, ministry publishing assumes you already know how to write, but it helps you finish it all up and get it ready and then publish it. So either one of those, I work with you. And so you can ask questions, but you when it comes right down to it, no matter which way you go, it all comes down to you. You need to do the work. If you're going to hire somebody, you need to oversee the work. That's why I teach you these things. So at least you have an idea up here of what's supposed to be happening on the computer, the internet, and so forth. And if you're not seeing it happening, you should ask questions. And this gives you the knowledge base that you can at least ask intelligent questions. And hopefully you can get some intelligent answers. Well, that's it for today. I hope this has been helpful to you. And don't forget that this is sponsored by Basic Authors Training and Ministry Publishing. And I am always willing to answer questions. All you got to do is go on to one of my videos, and there's a place for comments. You can ask them about that particular one, which would be the preferable way. You can also contact me by going to the website, and there's there for contacts, and you can email me a question. And so that would be helpful. And I might, depending upon the question, I might just be email back to you. It may be a comment, return comment, or it may be an episode just for that. So you have a great day, and I hope this is, like I said, I hope this has been informative, encouraging, and inspiring to you. And that is what I promise is people subscribe to my channel. And then, by the way, that's right right about there. And you subscribe, and you get everything that I on my channel that I put out there. You have access to it. So you have a great day. I will see you in the next episode.